Hi, I'm René Carayol, and I'm really sorry that I couldn't be with you today on a really important leadership day for the NHS. But I wanted to challenge you just a little bit. I want to challenge you to manage a little less and lead a little more. I spent 3 years as a non-executive director on the board of the Inland Revenue. It was my first real meeting with the public sector, and it was fabulous. And I think the NHS, just like the NHS, talent's not your issue. Culture is. And that's about leadership. And what I found in my time working in the public sector, brilliant people, fabulous cause, but perhaps cultures of not wanting to lose as opposed to cultures of wanting to win. So I want to leave you with a strong message for your day. When I left corporate life far too many years ago, I took the time out to write a book, Corporate Voodoo. I spent 10 years at Marks & Spencer's, where I felt I worked for one of the best of the British organisations ever. And they taught me everything there was to know about management. I then went on to the board of Pepsi in the UK and worked for the Americans for 3.5 years for the first time in my career. And they taught me loads and loads about leadership. And I realised, you can't have one without the other. You need them both. But at the moment, my strong feeling is in the public sector, the balance has shifted a little too much to management and not enough to leadership. I'll tell you what I mean by management. I mean the procedures, the processes, the key performance indicators, the critical success factors, the balanced scorecard, the league tables. All those things that necessarily drive performance. And we've got to have them, but not at the cost of leadership. And if management for me is where we're performance driven, leadership is where we're values led. And leadership for me is more about teams, vision, people, culture. If management is what we have to do, leadership's how we feel about it when we're doing it. If management is the IQ, the intelligence quotient, leadership is the EQ, the emotional quotient. I call management the hardware, I call leadership the software. Now, when I left corporate life, in order to write my book, I visited 250 organisations around the world. I looked at startups, I looked at medium-sized enterprises, I looked at national conglomerates, I looked at multinationals. I looked at private sector, public sector, and the third sector. I went to Asia Pacific, I went to Australia, I went to the Americas, I went to Europe, and I went to Africa. And I was trying to get the answer to one simple question. What separates the winners from the losers? What is it that makes some organisations really special and keeps them ahead? And what is it that keeps others lagging behind? And 3 consistent things came out. And I don't care if you're public sector, private sector, or the third sector. It was exactly the same. Large or small, exactly the same. American or African, exactly the same. The first thing is that leadership thing. And I don't mean about what happens in the chief executive's office. I mean what spreads right through the organisation. Management tends to be a title, a role, a responsibility. It tends to be a place on the hierarchy, a place in the structure. Leadership is something completely different. It's an attitude. It's a way of being. No one can make you a leader. It's your choice. Once you've made the leap and you choose to be a leader, you're going to be a leader forever. So the first thing is that leadership thing. Organisations that had leadership pervasive through them, right through the company, be it the bank clerk, the till operator, or the chief executive, tended to do better. The second thing, it's that culture thing. I'll tell you what I mean by culture. The way we get things done around here, what we stand for, what makes us special. And most organisations don't know how to move their culture. Brilliant organisations know how to move the culture. The Royal Marines are fabulous with their culture. Google, brilliant with their culture. How good are the NHS? And the third thing is the most simple: collaboration. Smart organisations truly know how to collaborate, internally and externally. They've realised that in our difficult markets with our demanding media and demanding customers, nothing is best done alone anymore. And therefore they don't have turf wars, they don't have silos, they just naturally collaborate. I'll give you an example of this. I visited Apple last year, and Apple have design, technology, marketing completely integrated, completely co-located and reporting into one person. How simple. How effective. You look at their marketing, you look at their design, you look at their technology, you know it's integrated. No one else is doing it. Maybe today's a really good place to kick off. And I'd like to leave you with a question. Why should anyone be led by you? What do you bring to the leadership party? Is it management or is it leadership? So, I'll leave you with my little mantra. Manage a little less and lead a little more. Have a fabulous day, and I hope I'll get to meet you in the very near future. Thank you.